Is this the best Android smartphone right now? I put my SIM card into the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and I've been using it as my Android phone of choice. This has been my experience. It has what Samsung calls the fastest Snapdragon processor and a 200 megapixel camera among 4 other cameras. What else does it have and what is it capable of? Hi, my name is Fisayo Fosudo and welcome to our review of the S23 Ultra. Without further ado, let's get to the video. The first thing a lot of people bring up with this phone has to be the way it looks. Taking a look at my S22 Ultra and this one, you might not be able to tell the difference right off the bat. The S23 Ultra offers 4 main colors: green, phantom black, lavender, and cream. There are of course more colors in their exclusive color options, but what we've got in the studio here is this green one, which I think looks quite nice, but I've got it in a case for the most part, so this beauty is kind of hidden. But the upside is that your phone is protected. In Samsung's bid to keep the Note series alive through the S series, they maintained the design language of the S23 Ultra with slight appearance changes. You still get the stylus on here. It's a dual nano SIM setup, and if you want, you can use an eSIM on your device. What you notice is that the side of the S23 Ultra is almost fully flat compared to the curved edges of the S22 Ultra. I also noticed that it is slightly wider when it comes to the breadth of the phone. Slightly is exactly 0.2 millimeters, so it's not noticeable. Also, the glass back and the glass screen got an upgraded Gorilla Glass Victus 2 compared to the Victus Plus of the S22 Ultra. Samsung has always been great at displays. When you are outdoors under heavy sunlight, the S23 Ultra's display is bright and clear, and that's what you want in a good smartphone display. 1750 nits of peak brightness definitely shines here. The screen size you've got to work with on the S23 Ultra is a 6.8 inch one, branded as Quad HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED 2X, which is an AMOLED display. At the maximum resolution, you're getting 3088 x 1440 pixels. Samsung even shows a graphic of what sharpness would look like, but you have to be careful. All that sharpness will cost you your battery life, but by default this phone comes with a full HD plus resolution and it will be plenty sharp for you, unless you really want to go that much higher. You get a very high screen to body ratio device on here, and streaming videos at very high resolutions is quite satisfying to look at. Same thing goes for gaming too. The crispiness lets you get more immersed into the phone, and you have a very good and noticeably sharper speaker quality compared to the S22 Ultra. Not that the S22 Ultra is not great, but the S23 Ultra stereo sound quality is just very, very good. Okay, one thing you should experience going into the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is that the device feels very fast and smooth to use. Whether it's that on-screen fingerprint scanner or face unlock, scrolling, opening and closing apps, and every other micro and major user experience, it just feels solid and, dare I say, it feels refreshed. On paper, this comes with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset that was made for Galaxy. Is it really the fastest Android, or is it because Samsung calls it the fastest Snapdragon processor? Well, when you take a look at the Geekbench 5 ranking of Android devices on geekbench.com, these are the top 5 devices by single core and multi-core score. Then here's the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. The S23 Ultra tops the chart for single core, but is almost on par with the highest ranked one for multi-core performance. And gaming on this phone does feel very fluid. We tried Genshin Impact at max graphics, and of course it allowed us, but it gave us a battery warning, and despite that, the phone did not get warm. Samsung is also said to have improved the cooling on this phone, and it shows. You can comfortably push this processor and it will just be fine. The same thing also occurs with Call of Duty Mobile. You can max out the graphics and the frame rate, but you can't go ultra, which you possibly don't need. But still, this phone will handle every other thing just fine without breaking a sweat. You get Android 13 with all its improvements and One UI 5.1, and there's also new modes and routines where you can have your phone behave the way you want when you want it. What's cool is that you've got 4 years of Android OS updates and 5 years of security updates with your S23 Ultra. I thought the calls I had here were clear as expected. The S23 Ultra has 2 mics, one at the top and one at the bottom, which can record sound. And when you are in Pro Video on your camera, you can choose where you want the recording priority to be with your sound, whether you want it to record from the front of the phone or from the rear side of the phone. This year, Samsung makes the S23 Ultra's base storage a 256GB one instead of 128GB from the S22 Ultra, which is a bump for that similar price tag. And you can even go as high as 512GB or 1TB. Although I did not see pricing for the 1TB option in Nigeria. As far as the RAM, you've got 8GB of RAM or 12GB of RAM for the S23 Ultra. You still get the nice to have wireless power share, so you can charge your other accessories or your other devices on the back of your phone. There's the smooth integration with Windows and of course nearly every Samsung TV. I think it's an underrated feature in my opinion, because whenever I travel and I'm with my Samsung phone and I see a Samsung TV, I can use my phone to instantly take over the TV and use the TV with my phone. It just makes sense. I can use it for streaming. I can use it to display whatever I want from my phone. You still have your S Pen here and the refinement continues. You can create and take notes, write on screenshots or portions of screenshots, draw and send animated messages, and even write as a text message and all that good stuff that makes this phone feel like a complete phone. And yeah, if you just want a stylus to look businessy, this is the phone for you. Samsung gives us a 5000 mAh battery on this device, and while that might not look like an upgrade on paper, since the S22 Ultra also has the same milliampere number, because the processor of this is technically better, the battery is more optimized for the S23 Ultra. So you basically get the same battery capacity but with better usage in terms of battery. So how long does it last? Well, between using it for stuff like Twitter and Instagram, watching some YouTube videos, recording some videos of my own, and taking pictures for almost the whole day, this lasts quite well, and you can probably use this till the end of the day with enough battery left over for almost half of the next day before you plug it in. I downloaded a 20GB Genshin Impact file, and while leaving the phone turned on, that took nearly 35% of the battery life. Playing Genshin Impact and Call of Duty both at medium default graphics for around 30 to 40 minutes, it took around 10% of the battery life. That's got to count for something, and this lasts for the whole day, just like I said. And if you're a light user with much more standby time, you should get nearly 2 days with this phone. The S23 Ultra is capable of 45 watts fast charging. However, the charger will not be included in the box when you purchase this, but you will get a USB-C cable though. As we established, the S23 Ultra comes with 5 cameras, a 12-megapixel sensor on the front capable of shooting 4K at 60 frames per second. The rear cameras are 4 in number: a 200-megapixel wide camera, a 10-megapixel periscope telephoto lens capable of 10 times optical zoom, another 10-megapixel telephoto lens responsible for the 3 times optical zoom, and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, which is the one responsible for the steady video. We tried running a test and we recorded this while running, and this is how that fared. The S23 Ultra is capable of shooting 8K at either 24 or 30 frames per second, and this is what 8K at 30 frames per second looks like. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. The selfies from the S23 Ultra look quite as sharp as you'd expect, and I think portrait mode does justice to the edge detection on here. In a group selfie though, it does apply a blur to the person further in the back, and I really like this photo of our team. The rear camera also does take decent photos of people, whether you're using it at the ultra wide at 0.6 times or the main 1x lens and even 3x lens. Edge detection with the rear cameras also look decent and nearly perfect too. You can toggle between the 1x and 3x for portrait mode shots, and both results will look great. While the 1x will give you a more modern and picturesque look, the 3x will look more natural. To capture 200-megapixel photos, you have to toggle it on at the top left corner here. I also noticed a trend when we shot with the main lens and the 200-megapixel sensor. The shots look sharp with the regular image, but with the 200-megapixel image, it not only packs a lot of detail, it's also much larger at up to 10 times the file size than the regular image, and it looks really natural. The photos on the S23 Ultra are almost always on point, and Samsung's Scene Optimizer just adds that extra bit of pop. I posted a version of this picture on Twitter, but apart from how it handles colors and the HDR, this is at 0.6 times zoom. We went up to 1x, 3x, 10, 50, and up to 100 times zoom, and it still retained the quality by a large amount. There's quite an amount of processing on here, but this phone will help you see much further. Is this a phone or binoculars at this point? We also tried the same thing from a tall building to look at a boat from afar, and the results are quite astonishing. It's still not perfect, but it's worth commending. This is one of the phones I enjoyed using and taking photos with, or even videos too, whether I'm outdoors or indoors. Everything looks far more improved. It's really shareable too. You also have portrait video as well, where your subject is in focus and the background is blurred. Even at night, and if you've got fair lighting, you should see decent results from your phone's camera, either with the front or with the back camera, and the video quality does hold up. If everything wasn't enough, this is IP68 water and dust resistant. Samsung puts the price tag as 945,000 naira for the S23 Ultra in 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. And the version with 12 gigs of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage costs 1,030,000 naira. I think it's fair, especially considering the US dollar conversions. I also showcased 2 of the cases and I thought they were cool. These are also the other prices of the other Samsung S series devices. Let me know what you guys think about the prices. But what do you think about this guy, the S23 Ultra? I think it's topped one of my favorite phones of 2022, the S22 Ultra, by making small but meaningful improvements that just make sense. This is definitely a phone to watch in 2023, and the year just got started. We'll definitely be seeing a lot more improvements and 5G fully coming on all Samsung devices in Nigeria. If there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comment section below. And speaking of 5G, check out this video on the 5G router and 5G in Nigeria. See you there.